my name is David Garcia, and I'm the CEO of ScoutLogic. Thank you for joining us for the next interview in our Work from Home Best Practices series. Really excited with our guest today, Laura Rottingen, who is the HR leader for YipitData, will share her insights. YipitData provides alternative data to investors to help them make better decisions. The company has grown tremendously fast, and much of its growth has been fueled by the great employee population and just outstanding culture that they have. It's just a really, really cool place. Also, Yipit's grown tremendously during COVID-19. So Laura has some great, very relevant and very timely insights to share. Laura, thanks for joining us today. Hey, Laura, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, David, happy to help out and be here.
Terrific. Well, it'd be great if you could start off for us by sharing a little bit about what YipitData does and what your employee population is like.
Yeah, so YipitData, we sell alternative data to investors. We are about 150 people right now. Prior to going into quarantine, we were around 115, so we've been growing a bit since then. Before going into quarantine, we were all pretty much in the office. We had a small handful of remote employees, so being fully remote is very new for us during this time. Lots of learnings to share.
Awesome. Well, congratulations both on the success of the business and this also the tremendous growth in terms of the number of employees. I'm sure that's brought lots of great opportunities and some challenges as well. You know, I always like to start out with positive. So let's go there, which is what's worked well in that transition to a work from home environment.
Yeah. I think one of the things that's worked really well has been being very proactive about our communication.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's always better to communicate even if you don't have a full answer than to wait until you have a full answer and leave people wondering what it will be. We've gotten a lot of really positive feedback on the way that we've communicated about our decisions throughout all of this in terms of office closures and what to expect, when to expect an update. So I think being very, very clear about those communications has been really helpful in just making all of our employees feel secure in what's going on. Something else that we did right at the beginning of quarantine was during our weekly all hands meetings, our CEO, Vin, has started doing a what's working and what's challenging presentation. There are always things that are challenging, and it's really helpful to be transparent about those things because people are feeling them. So being upfront and talking about it just is really helpful. But also talking about what's working, because even though we're in a pandemic, there are some things that are working, and rallying everyone together during a strange time behind what's going well has also been really helpful.
You know, I think that's great. I think, you know, we've talked to so many HR leaders who said, you know, transparency is what's key. Employees don't expect you to have all the answers right now, but they want to know what's on your mind, how you're thinking through things, and also so they can contribute to the culture as well. And I know at YipitData, everyone feels invested in your culture and wants to be a part of the company's continued success. But obviously, it's brought some challenges, particularly for your company, which has historically been an all-in-office environment. What have some of those challenges been?
Yeah, I mean, social interactions, to recreate that in a virtual world is definitely challenging, especially with 150 people. You know, Friday lunch, you get 150 people together. It's a lot different when you're all on Zoom. So that has definitely been challenging, trying to recreate our team building events and things like that, making sure that our new hires are getting integrated well to teams and getting to know people outside of their manager and the people that they're working with every day. Another challenge, and I kind of have a lesson learned here as well, has been training new hires. One thing that, you know, you don't even realize until it happens is when people are in the office and learning something, you can see them struggling when they're working through something. And as someone sitting next to them, you can say, hey, are you having a problem with that? Can I help you through it? And we have a great culture at the company of people pitching in and asking someone if they need help. Also, if you're struggling through something and you're sitting at the office late and you notice everyone else leave, you can say, oh, maybe I shouldn't be here anymore. Maybe I should ask for help.
Yeah.
But when you're at home alone, you don't see that and you don't know to ask for help. So we've learned to be a lot more explicit with our new hires about asking for help, how long they should spend on certain problems, and just giving them a lot more opportunities to work together with other new hires and get help on their training. So they're not sitting at home trying to work through something and kind of struggling in silence.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be so isolating. That's great. That's great insight, Laura. And given the company's grown almost 50% in terms of employee population in a work from home environment, what's some practical advice you can share for other HR leaders in terms of how to recruit and onboard during a work from home environment?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the transparency with communication. I think it's so important at every step and in every way to be over communicating right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think being honest about what's not working, even to candidates interviewing and new hires coming in and saying, hey, we're working on this, or asking for feedback as you go and recognizing that we're all in a kind of weird position and working through things and learning a lot is really important.
Mm-hmm.
From the social interaction standpoint, one thing that our office manager, our employee experience manager did that has been really great, and we've loved doing it. We did what she calls a summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
So she put together a lot of different social activities. So we have a paint and sip night and a mozzarella making class and a rosé tasting class. And so each person in the company was able to choose 3 activities that kind of fit with their interests. And it was a really great way to get to know people outside of your team, have a social interaction. I think, getting all these social interactions over Zoom can be exhausting. So adding some type of activity has been really meaningful. Get to learn something new or do a fun activity. And that has, I think, been really great for morale and kind of getting people connected again.
It's such great practical advice, Laura. I was on with another HR leader, when we were talking about how do you replicate social interaction in a virtual world? And I think kind of your insight of bringing in a fun activity in, so we're not just all staring at each other, wondering who's going to talk next during the virtual happy hour, is a great way to get through that. So thank you. And thank you so much, Laura. I know how busy you are, so we appreciate you taking some time to share some insight with us.
Of course, always happy to chat.
All right. Thanks, Laura. Have a great day.
You too. See ya.